Okay then. Holy crap, it's been a long time. I'll wait for some people to edit. I'm gonna catch y'all up. Or no one will join, that's fine too. Although pretty rare. I see here. Yep, all my mods are offline. How fun. Oh, except one person, but he never joins anymore. Okay, well, I guess I'll just get started. Real shame no one's showing up, but that's just gonna happen sometimes. So, I've done a lot of stuff since the last stream, which was like over a month ago. It's kind of crazy. I took a bit of a break from devlogging because I started getting worried that someone would just take my game idea and make it first with more funding. And that was worrying, but I am just hoping for the best, continuing the devlogs, trying to build up some hype, and etc. etc. So, here's what I've done since last time. I'm just going to go ahead and enter the game. First off, cool VFX I was working on. Although I just now realized the sparks are incredibly flat, so I might want to do something about that in a second. But if I play the game, you're going to see a lot of changes. First off, loading screen is fixed. It's actually fast now. Second, there's no more flashlight desync. And because I completely rewrote the item system. There's so many things I've done. Completely rewrote the item code. Made a lot of things more object-oriented. Cleaned up a bunch of stuff. Real cool VFX here. I'll be using soon. I'm not sure if I think the door system I fixed on stream a long time ago. Settings, I added more stuff. I added a keybind section, which is completely functional. There's crouching, sprinting, all the keybinds. You can change them, it'll work, it'll save. Let's say if I wanted to be able to sprint with B, I could click this and press B. Now notice if I hold B, I can already use it. It's very nice. Or I could use that to toggle flashlight. And if I have multiple things bound to the same thing, it warns you. So I'm really happy with that. Also, I did some volume stuff. This controls the volume of sound groups, but although it controls the volume of the sound groups, these sound groups don't actually have any sounds in them yet, but I'm going to be fixing that today. You can, of course, change the sliders. And if you take something that's important, like the ghost voice, and make it too low, it'll be like, warning, suggested to keep the sound on for gameplay purposes. Because, like, you need to be able to hear creaky floorboards to know if the ghost knows where you are. That wasn't required. There was ghost, obviously, so you don't die. Basically just a bunch of stuff that I don't think people should set to 0. I added warnings. Graphics is still empty. Might do something about that today as well. But my main focus today is I want to create a sound class. So I can create sound objects which will play sounds, but with some extra functionality. I want it to be that all playing sounds will automatically muffle based off of walls in between you and the sound, and differences in floor. I just realized I never stopped my music. I am very sorry for that. Yeah, I basically just want to make a sound class so that I have a bit more control over the sound, and I think this can be very helpful. Then I'm going to start transitioning all my sounds over to that, and if I still have time, I will start messing with the graphics portion of the settings. Because I have a feeling that with a lot of these things are going to get pretty laggy. Okay. Lux Studios just being stupid. So, with that out of the way, very quickly, I want to fix some of the sparks on here. I have main particles here, and I just want to add a bit of a spread in that direction. I'm not sure if that works. Let's just do 20. Oh, that's working. Okay, cool. I think that's really it. Let's see. Alright, cool. That's a bit more depth to it. Other than that, didn't really change much. Okay. Let's just collapse that so we don't have to worry about it. Also, a lot of graphics changes. I worked very hard on improving the graphics with some depth of field, which looks very nice, lighting improvements, and a bit of testing with volumetric lighting. It looks really weird right now because, like, that, but in the actual game, I have measures in place to make sure that that isn't an issue. I love how much faster the loading screen is now. I'm very proud of that. But if I head over there, like, it's there. But if I start getting too close to it, it just fades out, so I don't have that issue. Alright, cool. So that's... Oh, wait. I don't think I showed you the death system either. So I improved the death system. I made it so it's actually... So that... I made the very first draft of being able to save yourself from dying. I wanted it to be that if you have an amulet in your inventory and you're dying, you can press a certain key, and if you're fast enough, it will prevent you from dying. So I basically worked on making it so that you can stop the death animation like that. Of course, I don't have it require an amulet yet or stun the ghost afterwards, and I do think I need to lower the time because I should be dead there, but, you know. Okay. I'm in an infinite loop, aren't I? Alright, I'll just let it kill me. Okay, well... Yeah, I completely redid the item system, and I'm actually really happy with how it works. It's super clear now. If I go into my replicated storage, where most of the stuff is, I have a new item classes folder. There's a folder for each item class, which has up to 4 subfolders, I believe. There's going to be... Where's base item? Oh, this is base item. Oh, wait, there's just no... Okay. See, it can have up to 4 subfolders. There's animations, which just has first-person and third-person animations. I have client, which is client code. Server code. Synced values. That's something else I did. I made a class called synced value, which basically makes it so that if you change the value on the client, it changes on the server as well. If you change it on the server, it changes it on the client. And I also do this in a way where it can never be desynced. That sounds like it'd be really easy, but there's a little edge case that can cause some issues. How should I demonstrate this? Microsoft Paint, do I have that? I think it just comes with one of those. So let's say we have a synced value. Is there text? Yes, there is. My first time using Microsoft Paint, by the way. So... We have the client. This is what the client sees, and this is what the server sees. How do I move stuff? Right. Okay, well, this sucks. I see now why everyone hates Microsoft Paint. Alright, good enough. So, in this box is going to be the value that the client sees, and in this box is going to be the value that the server sees. Now, let's say that by default they both have a 2. Let's say now that the client wants to change it to 3. So the client changes it to 3. It tells the server, hey, I changed it to 3, so go make that 3 on your end as well. So the server receives that request and sets it to 3. So that's how it works. that way, things like clicking on the flashlight aren't internet dependent. If you right-click, it will happen instantly, no matter how slow your internet is. However, if your internet's really slow, it might take a while for it to happen for everybody else, because it takes a second for that to update on the server. So if I make a change on the client box, it will update instantly, and it'll tell the server to make it that as well. But the edge case I was talking about, let's say the client sets it to 4. And it tells the server, hey, set it to 4. But the internet is incredibly slow, or for this example, the internet's incredibly slow. And while it's telling the server to change it to 4, like before that message to change it to 4 reaches the server sets it to 2. So it gets 2 on the server, and it tells the client, hey, set this to 2. So while the message to tell the client to set it to 2 is going, the server receives the message to set it to 4. So it sets it to 4, and then the client receives the message to set it to 2. And they are desynced. This is the issue. Because both the client and the server can change this value, and there is a bit of delay from updating what the server sees based off of whenever the client changes it and vice versa, there can be that little desync issue if the server changes the value in between the time that the client changed the value and the server received the request to change the value. Okay. 1 second. Spam bot. How do I enter mod mode? Chat settings. Show mod icons. Yes, please. Delete message. Alright, cool. Hello, Monkey Man guys. Thank you for following. Is that the spammer? No, that is not the scammer. Okay. So I hope that helps you understand that little edge case that can cause some issues. But I found a way to get around this. What happens, so let's say this edge case happens, and I decided I want the server's changes to take precedence over the client's changes. So let's say they both have 2 again. Then the client changes it to 3. And it tells the server, hey, okay, what? How does Microsoft Paint work? Okay. And then the client says, hey, I want to change this to 3. But before this is received at the server changes it to 1. Server changes it to 1. And what would normally happen is it would tell the client to change it to 1, the server would receive it, the server would have 3, and the client would have 1. We have an issue. But what I am doing now is whenever the server makes a change, it's going to say, okay, I've made a change, and I'm not going to accept any client changes until the client recognizes that change. So it has a little list off to the side of pending changes, like changes that have not been registered on the client yet. So that's like a list of all pending changes. And it says, I have 1 on this list. The client has not yet told me that it has changed to 1. And whenever it receives a 3, it's going to check the list, and it's going to see we have a change on that list. Therefore, we should not accept this change because it will cause a desync. So it's going to get this 3. It's going to say, no, I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to accept that. Then the server is going to tell the client, let's change it to 1. The client receives that change, sets it to 1. Then it sends it back and says, I got a 1. Then the server sees, okay, the client got a 1. It has accepted this change. We remove it from the list. And now let's say the client wants to make a change again, this time setting it to 0. It's going to send a message to the server saying, let's change it to 0. The server's going to get that change, and it's going to see the list is empty. Everything has been recognized. So it does set it to 0. And that fixes my problem. There will be no desyncs, and all the server's changes take precedence over the client's changes. So, I found a way to program this in Roblox, and using that, I implemented that to my flashlight and made it so that that value is a boolean of whether or not it is on. Whenever you right-click, it changes the value in the synced value. It tells the server, hey, this is now on or off, and then it updates that for all the other players. But on your end, it also updates instantly, which is very nice. So if I go into Studio Settings, Network, and I make it simulate an incredible lag, every change I make takes 5 seconds to happen on the server. Now, this is an incredible amount of lag. If you reach this point, you're probably going to be kicked from the game for internet connectivity. But this is just to prove a point. Yeah, okay, so there's definitely a bunch of delay. I don't think it's even recognized that I got the items yet. Yeah, it hasn't even recognized I got the flashlight. Okay, this is problematic. Okay, there we go. Recognize I got the flashlight. I made it so it takes really long for the client to receive messages from the server and vice versa, just for testing. And as you can see, if I right-click, it happens instantly. But on the server, there you go. It still happens, just a bit delayed, even though it happens instantly on the client. And that is something that all high quality games do, but most Roblox games don't. And it's just something I wanted to have for my game because, you know, I'm trying to one up most Roblox games here. I want to make it be like, I want it to just be not quite Frontlines level, but maybe Doors level. Okay, that was, whoops. I want it to be something that people look at and say, wow, I can't believe that's Roblox. I'm not sure if I'll get that far, but I'm trying. And another thing is that, like, you can tell that also swapping which item I'm holding is instant, even if it isn't on the server. Yes, there you go. It's instant, despite my internet lag, because the current slot that you're holding out is also a synced value. So I am completely riddling my code with these synced values, and they're making my life a lot easier. So yeah, I have a whole new item system. And what I wanted to do today is make a sound system, which builds off of Roblox's sound system, but adds some extra functionality, like muffling noises on other floors. Now, I actually, before I did this, I was digging into sound service, and I saw volumetric audio. I'm not quite sure what this is, but it might actually be this. So, real quick, I'm going to try something. If I put a... God, I made this so dark. Let's just get some random sound to test this. Audio. Metal pipe. For the memes. Perfect. We're gonna add a part. I messed up. Part. Huh? Oh, no, it worked. Okay, well, we're gonna put a part right here. We're going to insert this sound into it. We're gonna make this part just invisible. Not gonna interfere with anything. It's just to emit the sound. We put it on looped. We're gonna lower that volume because it is incredibly loud. That is still so loud. Okay, let's do there. So we're just gonna have that looping, and I'm gonna see what sound service does with that. maybe it will automatically muffle it. I'm curious to see what that setting does. Oh wait, I forgot to fix the replication lag thing. I like to keep that setting at a realistic value. 0.02 is pretty realistic. No, wait, that's small. 0.1 is pretty realistic. That's 0.1 seconds of lag. And that's usually about what you will see in the actual game. So I like to keep it around that. It's actually a little bit on the higher end, I think. So that's good. Just so I can make sure everything works even with laggier users. Okay, it doesn't seem to be muffling it. Yeah, it's not muffling it. Okay, so I am indeed going to be making this. So, God, why did I make this so dark? Oh, found it. Aha, got it. Okay, so, I'm going to be using something I advertised on my Discord server already. A module or plugin I made myself, which adds a very simple way to create classes and objects in Roblox Studio. I already made the sound class. I haven't put any methods in it yet. But I think this should make my life a lot easier. So let's just add a static in it so we can keep track of all playing sounds. We're going to do self.sounds equals just an empty list. It's going to be, let's call it playing sounds. I mean, empty list. And we'll add some extra code here in a second. Now, let's add a regular method. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that there and put this here. Okay, cool. So this is the static init. And whenever we create a new sound object, we're going to immediately play it. We're going to pass in the sound name. And we'll come up with some other parameters soon. But we're going to do class equals data. No, it's self.getClass. Yep. Okay, so we're going to get the class, and then we are going to do class dot, what did I call it? Playing sounds. That's going to be a list. We're going to do table.insert, and we're going to add this new sound. This is going to keep a list of all playing sounds so that we can keep track of that. I keep forgetting. Okay, I'm going to put the documentation on the thing I made because my memory is just that bad. Docs. Yep, get class, lowercase g. Okay, so we're going to get the class and we're going to add this to the playing sounds. Alright. Now we're going to actually have to play it. Before we do this, we're going to say local sound equals. So we need to get it from our sounds folder. So let's get that sounds folder real quick. Okay, so we have our sounds folder in sounds folder, and we can do self.sound. We're going to do local sound is sounds folder, find, no, not sound name, sounds folder, find first child, sound name. So we're going to try to find a sound with that name. And if we don't find it, if not sound, then I'm gonna throw an error, just say no sound with name. Let's change this to an interpolated string. No sound with name, sound name, found. If we get back here, then we are going to assume that we have found the sound. We're going to do self.sound will sound clone. So we're just going to duplicate that sound and store it in a variable. Something I need to test real quick. I'm not sure how sounds work. I know that if they are parented to a part, they will emit from that part, but what if they're parented to nil? Okay, well, let's just get a sound. Local sound equals starter GUI dot flashlight click sound play. Okay, so that plays. Now if we do clone play, that does not work. Interesting. If we do local new sound equals that new sound dot parent equals game dot replicate storage, and then we play new sound, what happens? Okay, it does play from replicated storage. So I'm going to add another folder. It's going to be called playing sounds. Yeah, and we're going to do self.sound.parent equals playing sounds folder, replicated storage, wait for child, playing sounds. Okay. We're going to put it in that playing sounds folder. Let's also take a volume. Let's just say that this is going to be a string, and this is going to be a number. Let's also do some type checking here, just to be sure. If type of sound name not equal to string, then error sound name must be string. And we're going to do if type of volume is not equal to nil and type of volume is not equal to number. So it can either be not specified or it can be a number. Say error volume must either be not specified or a number. Okay, so now we know volume is a number or not or nothing, and sound name is a string. Let's just move this down here for clarity. Okay. Now, let's do this. We're going to say self. Oh, why did I do that? Play the sound. Self.sound. Volume. Okay, only if the volume is specified. So if volume, then self.sound.volume. Okay, if not sound. This also needs to be an actual sound. If not sound, or type of sound is not equal to instance, and no, or not sound is a sound. So the sound has to be a sound. We're going to do volume equals volume. And then we will do self.sound play. Cool. Now let's add a method to sound stop. What am I doing? Here. No, that's not it. Here. Okay. We're going to add a method. Stop. And whenever... Okay, so this is going to be whenever we want to stop the sound. We're going to do... First, we need to get the class. Like we're going to say remove this from the list of playing sounds. We're going to do index equals table.find self.playing sounds self. No, wait, it's class.playing sounds. Did I do that right? Yes, okay. And if it is in that list, we're going to do find. No, we're going to do table.remove class.find sounds index. So this will check if it's there, and otherwise remove it. We're also going to see if self.playing okay, let's make this a private value. Private self data.get private object data. We're going to do private self.playing was false. Okay, we're going to say first make sure it is... Actually, no. I'm going to say do nothing if it is already stopped. It's going to say if not private self.playing, so it's already been stopped, then we will return. Actually, let's change this to a play state. We're gonna have to go here. Date the play state. Self.play state equals 2. No. 2 means playing, 1 means paused, and 0 means stopped. So if it's already stopped, then return. Otherwise, we're going to be setting it to 0, which stops it. So stop sound. We're also going to have to do self.sound, stop, self.sound, destroy. Let's just destroy it. That will do the same thing as stopping it. Okay. That should be fine. Now let's add a pause. Okay, do nothing if it is already paused. So if it is 1, then it's paused, we do nothing. No, let's say only do something if it is playing. Because if it's stopped, we also want this to do nothing. So if it's not, wait. Okay, so if play state is not playing, and then we return. We're going to pause the sound. We're going to do colon pause. That's a thing, right? I think that's a thing. Let me just see real quick with autofill game dot starter GUI flashlight click colon pause. Yes. Is there a resume? Yes, there is a resume. Okay. So we're gonna pause it. We're gonna set the play state to 1 for paused. And then I think that's all we're gonna have to do. Let's duplicate this, and we're going to call this resume. Only do something if it is paused. Zoom the sound. And we set the play state back to 2 for playing. That should be good. Now let's add a couple other methods like is playing. I'm going to do local private self data get private object data. We're going to do return private self dot play state equals 2. I'm also going to have is paused and is stopped. That should be good for that. Now let's add a private method. Let's add a private method to update how it sounds. This is like muffling, volume, all that stuff. So we're just going to add a method. We're going to call this update. And we will make this private. Then in init, we're going to say we're going to need run service. Run service. Game get service. Run service. We're going to say update loop. Now we're going to say event equals run service is client and run service dot render stepped or run service dot heartbeat. So if it's on the client, this will run on render stepped. If it's not, it will run on heartbeat. Let's just do this. Let's put if on client update on here. Otherwise, update on heartbeat. We're going to say event connect function. It's going to take the delta time. We're going to say we're going to need the private self. Do we get that? We do not. Private self data get private object data. Okay, and now we can call our private method update. We're going to do dot update delta time. But we only want to do this if it's playing. So if self dot is playing, then we want to do this. Alright, cool. That should run the update only if it's playing. So we're going to have delta time passed in. We're going to need to be able to raycast from the source to the player. Let's say let's take in another value. This value is going to be what do I do? What should I call this? It's gonna be whether or not the sound is positional. Well, let's just call it positional Boolean. So, if it's positional, it is tied to a position in space. Yeah, it's just going to be tied to a position in space. If it is not positional, then it will always be at max volume. Okay, that will work. So we're just going to make sure that this is a Boolean. And there's a really simple way of doing that. We can just do positional equals not positional. That will convert it to a Boolean. A little trick I've picked up. And we're going to do self.positional equals positional. Actually, no, let's make this a position. This is a vector 3. Or it cannot be specified, and then it is not positional. Okay, so we're going to copy this here. I'm going to say, we're going to type check the position. It needs to be a vector 3 or not specified. We're going to say position must either be not specified or a vector 3. We're going to do self.position equals position. We're going to have another method, set position. Why did I add that? And we're going to take in a position, vector 3. We're going to type check that just like before. And we're going to do self.position equals position. Okay, cool. So it's going to position. I also want this to be able to be attached to a part instead of a position. So I'm going to do set part. Why did I do that? Change this up a little bit. So it either has to be a vector 3, a base part, or nil. So either be not specified, a base part, or a vector 3. Okay. We're going to say manage position. I'm going to say if not position. No, if position and position. No, and type of position equals vector 3. So it is specified and it is a vector 3. And then we're going to say and it's not a vector 3, then it has to be a base part. I'm going to say self.part equals position. Position equals self.part.position. Okay. Just check if it's an instance. Alright, so we can do set position. And we're also going to set self.part to nil because we no longer want it to be attached to a part. We do set part. It's going to be pretty much the same as this. We're going to type check it. Part, which has to be a base part. Wait, let's just do is not equal to instance or not part is a base part, so it has to be a base part. We're going to do self.part equals part, and self.position is going to be part.position. I think that should work. And actually, let's make it so that if it's nil, we're going to say if not part, then self.position equals nil, self.part equals nil, else. Okay. That should be good. Now, in update, we need to update the position based off of part. So we're going to say if self.part, then self.position equals self.part.position. Update position. Now, I need a muffle modifier. Is that a thing? So let's get a example sound in here. Let's just get that flashlight click in there. And let's add a... Is there a muffle? Okay. Sound effect. Let's see, what do we have to work here with? Pitch shift, flange, equalizer, echo. Compressor, what is this? I do not know anything about sound, so... What? Well, hello there, Mindblocks Alt. I am messing with the Roblox sound modifiers, trying to figure out how I can muffle a sound, and getting incredibly confused about what the heck this all is. So I'm just going to mess with some values and see what happens. I do not like working with sounds. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm mostly doing code. I'm just taking a break. I'm trying to make my own code system, like my own sound system, which will muffle sounds if you are on a different floor or there's a wall in between you and the sound. Just to add a bit of depth to my game and make it a bit easier to figure out where sounds are coming from, because that's gonna be very important to my game. And to do that, I need to be able to actually muffle sounds, and that requires a sound modifier. So what does this do by default? Okay, not really anything. Let's see. What does this do? If I make this real low, does something happen? I don't see a difference. Is this even doing anything? Alright, that's probably not what I need. I don't think compressor is what I need. Oh, increase priority. Let me try that. You're right. Dang. Should probably change some of these other values, though. Yeah, I did muffle it a bit. That's what I needed. That seemed to undo it. What if I do... What's the other thing? What is this? Let's see, what does that do? There we go. That's getting good. I think maybe attack is something I need to decrease, but let's try it. Yeah, that's the opposite of what I need. I do that. Now it's too much. Maybe I should lower the priority. I probably made this too high. Yeah, it seems to be getting better. Let's see here. No, maybe it's not. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Maybe it's too much. Let's try changing that. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, I mean, I did try increasing attack, but it seemed to be the opposite of what I wanted. Let's look it up. There's probably a good resource online. Muffle sound Roblox. Low pass filter. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, I'm doing a completely wrong thing. They want a equalizer sound effect. Alright, and we want to high gain and mid gain. We want to lower these. Let's see what that did. That doesn't sound muffled, it just sounds quieter. It's like the opposite. There we go. What happens if I mess with the low gain? Alright, that's pretty good. Let's make this a little bit more intense. It's like it's getting quieter, which is not what I want. So let's make that. That's... Yeah, this is definitely what we needed. Low pass filter time. I don't know what you're saying. Wait. Is there a time value in here? No. Okay, let's make the priority really high because I want this muffle to be the most important thing. Let's see. High gain, all the way down. Low gain, let's make that crazy too. Alright, that makes it nice and muffled. Can I manually make this higher? Or lower, I guess? I can. Alrighty. No, never mind. What? I can do that, though. No, it just undid it. Okay, never mind. I want to make this more intense somehow. Is it something I need to do with this? What happens if I make that low as well? Now I just straight up can't hear it. Okay, then. This probably modifies the volume directly at this point because everything else is so low. Yeah, seems like it. Yeah. I made my own input system because Roblox's input system sucks. I made a keybind class which will automatically update based off of a settings screen. It's real nice. I also made my own event emitter class, and it uses that event emitter class to have a pressed and released thing, and it even works with multiple keys bound to the same thing. So it's a really nice system. I'm really proud of it, honestly. So if I turn this off and compare it, wait a minute. Is Roblox just having a stroke, or am I doing something stupid? If I just should remove it. Alright, I think that is a good effect. Is this a PvP game? No. It is a collaborative ghost hunting game. Inspired by Phasmophobia, but not a copy. I've made very sure of that. I don't want it to be another one of those specters. I want it to be a unique ghost hunting experience. I took Phasmophobia as a base, replaced their sanity system with a chaos system, which is very different. Added spells, a bunch of different ghost behavior. Ectoplasmic. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't remember how I came up with it, but I was just like, what's a cool name? I want this game. I want this game to have a bit less of a scary vibe and a bit more of a cool vibe. I want the player to feel very cool whenever they exercise the ghost or do a cool spell or get out of a tough situation. So I wanted it to be a more cool name than a scary name, and I thought Ectoplasm fit that perfectly while still being ghost related. If you don't know what ectoplasm is, it's like supposed to be. Oh, well, yeah, you got it right there. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got it. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of that name. Uh, so I also made this. I half made this. Someone else made it, and then I improved it. This is going. The spell style is going to be inspired by Doctor Strange. I like to take inspiration from things, but I made this thing with some help from a VFX artist, and I'm going to put on the player's hands whenever they do a spell. I think it's going to look real cool. I'm struggling to find a builder still. I have a modeler, an animator, all that stuff. There's probably a smarter way of doing this. But I can even change the color of these. What the heck? It will not let me change the color of these. Okay, I'll just do this with code. I'll go selection, game.selection, get for emitter and pairs selection. We're going to do emitter.color. Color equals color3.from RGB, and we want to, let's just make it a nice purple. Shoot. Oh, I see. First, I want to remember what this is. I'm just going to write that down off to the side. Color3.from RGB 255.170.0, just so I don't lose that. And this needs to be a color sequence. We're going to do color sequence.new, and we can just pass in one color, and that should work. Oh, I only did the sparks. Whoops. How silly of me. Alright, image color. We made it 97, 24, 104. Like, see, I'm perfectly capable of, like, recoloring it. I need to change the smoke. Okay, I just did something weird. Why is that selected? I don't know. Roblox. Do you memorize the color values? No, I'm just kind of messing with it right now. Seeing where it takes me. I mean, that still looks pretty dang cool. I do say so myself. I want to make this a bit more red. And dark. See, yeah, that looks pretty cool too, actually. But it'll change colors based off of the spell you're casting. That looks actually really sick. Anyway, let me just put it back to the color it was before. I don't know why I took this overly long detour. I forgot to actually select everything. I'll just do this a smart way. What if I do select children, unselect everything that's not a particle. There we go. That was smart. Okay. Bam! Perfect. Now I should change the images. It was 255.170.0. There you go. And we change the smoke. Okay, that was an unnecessary detour. Ooh, that looks really cool. I don't know why I didn't make it more intense. Let's just do something in between. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Back to normal. Looks cool as heck. Alright, so, back to the sound system. I've been using a plugin I made. If you like object-oriented programming, I suggest checking it out. It's on the developer forum. It comes with a plugin and a module. You can do it with the plugin or without. The plugin's free, though. It lets you create classes and manage the methods in it with private methods, private values, static methods, all the cool stuff. And everything is in its own script, which makes it really nice and organized. So, what I was doing here, let's add another value in it. I'm going to get this muffle sound. Where is that muffle sound? Here it is. So I just want to take this. I'm going to make two versions of it. One that is pretty muffling, like that's probably what it is right now. Yep. And then another one that is half as muffling. That didn't even do anything. I am thoroughly confused. What? My whole life is a lie. Okay, there we go. It's just like exponential or something? I don't know. Okay, that's a good medium. So this is what it's going to hear. Yeah, that's what you're going to hear if it's on a different floor. And this is what you're going to hear if it's through a wall. How long have you been a developer? Oh, that's a hard one. I think I first started on Roblox Studio. Okay, I've been coding since I was 7. But I first started on Roblox Studio, I think, 4 years ago. Alright, so I have two sounds, one for if it's through a wall and one for if it's on another floor. I want it to be more intense if it's on a different floor. I want it to be somewhat, so that's different floor, and that's through a wall. Okay, cool. So with practice, you can learn if something, yeah, I've been coding since 7. I mean, when I was 7, I started with Scratch. But that was only for a year. When I was 8, I swapped over to Python. Things just kept going from there. I went to... What was the next thing I learned? I think it was Lua. Then I did Java. Then I did... What was it? I think maybe JavaScript. Then C#, C++. And I think that leaves me where I am now. Yeah, I spend an unhealthy amount of time programming. So I'm going to say this is wall... muffle, and this is floor muffle. I'm going to show this in Explorer. I'm going to paste it in so we can get it real easy. Oh yeah, I mean I didn't really count command block projects as a programming language, but if I did, that would have been in my list. I love making stuff with that. For a long time, I was just making mini games and stuff. There's so much stuff you can do with it, and they keep adding more stuff. I always wonder, maybe I should try messing around with that again. For a little bit, I was making Phasmophobia in Minecraft. Oh, really? That's cool. for a little bit I was making Phasmophobia in Minecraft, and that was going great. It had a associated texture pack, um, a data pack. You could install it really easily. And then I realized someone else had done it before me, and I lost all inspiration. Then I started thinking, what if I made Phasmophobia in Roblox? And then I'm like, well, maybe let's not make it. Maybe let's make it original. And then, well, that's this. I made SCP Secret Laboratory in Minecraft Pocket Edition. I played a bunch of time with that. That's cool. Um, I never actually finished any large command block projects. I made small things like a whole villager capsule system I was actually really proud of. Um, oh, cool. I made like a villager capsule system just because like I hate moving villagers in Minecraft, and I just wanted to not have to deal with that. So I coded a whole data pack with a text with an associated texture pack that had an item called a villager capsule. If you go up to a villager and right click on it, it puts them in the capsule, and you can move them around as an item and put them back down. It was yeah, I was proud of that one. I still use that one. I had a bunch of other command block projects like making a tower defense simulator in just a tower defense game in Minecraft, or Phasmophobia in Minecraft, or a mini game in Minecraft called Bowshot. Although I didn't finish any of those because I've never been very great at finishing projects, but Ectoplasmic I have not given up. This is the longest I've worked on a project, and I do not plan on giving up. I have a whole team of developers working on it. I don't think I'm going to finish it. You finished... Which one was that? Oh, you finished the Pocket Edition one. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could... I finished some of those old projects. I have so many unfinished projects that I've just completely abandoned, but this is not going to be one of them. I hope. Oh, your dad got wiped. That's rough. It reminds me, once I was like doing a super flat challenge on Bedrock. I was doing it on Bedrock because like that's the only way to do a super flat challenge because the bonus chests have saplings, and that's required to actually start it. But I was doing it on Bedrock, and I was like 20 hours in, starting to get zombie villagers and stuff, and then I re-downloaded Windows and when I reinstalled Minecraft, I realized that world was gone, and I was just furious. Making Project in Pocket Edition is rough, I bet. You can't even, like, make data packs easy. You have to use command blocks. Ugh. That was a long tangent. I need to store these two things. Whenever you create a new one. Yeah, let me think about this. What I think I will do is I'll put it in this folder. Be easily accessible. I can do what's type of? Okay, it's a very helpful function for type checking. So let's say we have I can type. We have a variable. We don't know what type it is. Let's just make it a table for testing, and we do print type of var. It'll say table. It's a string table. We can do equals table. It'll say true. Or we can make it nil. Type of is nil. We can make it a string. Oh, make it string, and it'll say string. If we make it a number, it'll say number. And you can use, or I can even make it a vector 3. Yeah, I'll say vector 3. I mean, there's one catch with it. If I do like workspace dot part, not parent, part, it'll say instance, not base part. But a good use for it is if you're making some sort of class system and you're like, it takes in a constructor parameter sound name and it needs to be a string, we can say if type of sound name is not a string, then we throw an error saying, hey, this parameter needs to be a string. That's one use. That's really the only use for it. Or you can use it with remote events to make sure the client isn't sending malicious data. Yeah, there's a couple of uses for it. Mostly just type checking. Okay, so we're gonna do if self.position, then that means this sound is tied, yeah, like a failsafe. So if it's not nil, then it is tied to a position in the world, and based off of that, we need to do some stuff. However, if it is nil, then it is not tied to a position in the world, and should always be completely sound. So if we're going to do if self dot floor muffle, no, if self dot muffle effect, then we're going to do self dot muffle effect on destroy self dot muffle effect equals nil. So we want to remove all muffle effects, basically. But if it is tied to a position, we're going to say, we can probably just do else if here. Performance. So if it is tied to a position, then we need to dynamically change the muffle effect based off of whether or not there is a direct line of sight and like floor changes. For now, I'm going to ignore floor changes because I don't really have a working room system in my game, but I will do the wall muffle for now. So I don't want to do a raycast every frame, so I'm going to have another private method that will run slightly less, called check obstructed. I'm going to make this private. I'm going to need to get private self, get private object data. And we're going to do, here we're going to do self dot obstructed equals false. I have not. No, I don't really play SCP games. I mean, I've played a bit of 3008 in Roblox, but generally, I don't play SCP games. I mean, kind of. It's just a bunch of entities in a facility that break out. I don't know. I mean, yeah. A whole bunch of different ones, each one assigned a number. Anyway. Update. Muffle based off of obstruction. We're going to say, first, we're going to do let's say we want to check if it is obstructed 2 times a second. Yeah, that should be more than enough. So we're going to do, let's do private self dot private self dot time since check obstructed equals 0. We're going to do, that's a very long name, do private self dot plus equals and delta time, so how much time has passed since the last time we checked this. We're going to say if private self dot is greater than 0.5, then that means we want it to check if it's obstructed again. So we're going to say modulo equals 0.5, and then we will just do self dot obstructed equals private self dot check obstructed. Check if obstructed once every 0.5 seconds. What kind of checks are you adding? Like cooldowns? Or... is it a problem with a specific keybind? Because there's a little issue with testing. Oh wait, let's see. Where sometimes it errors. Error. It errors without an error. I don't completely understand that. I mean, if I understand correctly, which I probably don't, might just want to use a pcall. Could be helpful. Oh, it bugs out without sending an error message. So it's just not firing inputs. Okay, a little thing you should know. Whenever working with Roblox Studio, there's a couple little issues with some keybinds. Shift just doesn't work in Studio. In the actual game, it will work just fine. But in Studio, it will not, because it is used for a lot of Studio keybinds. Similar thing with Control. Control will work, but if you press, like, Control and A at the same time... Oh, can you repeat that? Okay. If you have a keybind bound to... If you have a, like, using user input service or context action service, you have an action bound to Shift, it will not work in Studio, but it will work in the game. And that is because Studio itself intercepts that keybind, and for like its own internal keybinds, and then it just doesn't register in the game. But if you do it outside of Studio, it should work just fine. That's something I'm dealing with in my own game. Oh, and game is also experiencing it. And it's mouse problems. That's strange. Okay, that's weird. I mean, something to consider, context action service is a bit weird. If you bind something to a key and then you bind something else that same key, it stops firing it, firing the first one, and it just starts firing the second one. I'm not sure if you're using context action service or if this is something that you'd have to worry about, but it could be something. Well, if you're not sure about that, you can always just put a print statement. Print statements are underrated, in my opinion. If self dot self.obstructed. Then we're going to use the floor muffle effect. Else if self dot. Then we're going to use the other else. We're not going to use any muffle. Here we will just do this. Oh, we're going to do I mean, you can. One second. Okay. Infinity community. Welcome. Unlock community. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you oh. Oh, dang. Yeah, that might be a bit of a problem. I just suggest adding some print statements on the debounce if you think that that's the problem. Like every time... Holy crap. Every time the button is pressed, before you check the debounce, just print the debounce. Go in the game, press the button a couple times, make sure it's working as intended. Yeah, that's what I'd suggest doing. I'm not sure if I can debug a 600 line code for you, though. Okay, self.muffle type equals nope, only one equal. Dang, you weren't kidding, that is long. Here we're going to do self.muffle type equals 0. We're going to do if self.muffle type. We're going to do else if self.muffle effect. And we're going to do if self.muffle type not equal to 1. Then, one moment. How do I mute on this? There. Sorry about that. My parents just being annoying. A lot of DMs. So I stole my friend's phone and pretended to be them on messages. Okay, so my friends are going through some stuff. Okay. Right, crisis averted, I think. I don't know. Okay, so if the muffle type is not 1, we're going to be setting it to 1, so muffle type equals 1. If self.muffle effect, then we will destroy it. We're going to do self.muffle effect equals script.parent dot. This is going to just be wall muffle clone self dot muffle effect dot parent equals self dot sound. Alright, that should apply it. Then up here, we're going to do muffle type is not equal to 2. We're going to set it to 2. If there's already an effect, we're going to destroy it. We're going to do floor muffle. Alright, that should apply the floor muffle if it's on another floor and it's obstructed. If it's just obstructed, we're going to do the wall muffle. And here we'll remove all muffle effects if it's not obstructed and it's on the same floor. No, if it's just on the same... No, if it's just not obstructed. Okay. One thing, though, this seems like it could be a bit jarring. It will work, but it'll go from unmuffled to muffled immediately. That's a bit of a problem. I want this to be a bit gradual. So what I will do is I can probably tween the values. So what I'll do... it's also confusing. I'm going to do remove muffle effect. Make that private. And this is going to do a couple things. It's going to do this, except it's going to do game.debris, add item, self.muffle effect 0.5. We're going to need the tween service. Services, tween service, game get service, tween service. Okay. We're going to do tween service dot create where's the default equalizer sound effect? It is that. What if I just put, what if it's all 0? Does this make a change? Okay. Alright, so it should just all be 0. Self.muffle effect. I just realized I need to remove this and move this to the end. I'm going to do effect. Let's make this multi-line. Tween info.new. We're going to need 0.5. Style.linear should be fine. Direction dot in out. I'm pretty sure that's in there by default, so I'm just going to do that. We're going to do goals. We need the, what did I change? So the high gain equals 0. We're going to do low gain equals 0. We're going to do mid gain equals 0. Then we're just going to do tween play, and that should fade out the effect instead of just straight removing it. So if I go over to update, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to replace that with the private self dot remove muffle effect. Do that here as well. Okay, now we need to do an add muffle effect, which will do the same thing but fade it in instead of out. So let's go over to my plugin. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to call it add muffle effect. We're not going to do debris because we're adding it. We're going to do effect dot high gain, effect dot low gain, and effect dot mid gain. That's going to be the target. And before we play it, we're going to do effect dot high gain equals 0, effect dot low gain equals 0, and effect dot mid gain equals 0. Okay, so it'll go from 0 to what it should be in 0.5 seconds. I think that'll work. Oh, wait, no, this should be one thing. Yeah, there we go. All right, that should work. Now I need to go back in here. Oh, I also need to do effect.parent and self.sound. If not self.sound, then return. Change that one line. Okay. So now I can go in here and replace this with private self dot add muffle effect. We pass in script dot parent dot floor muffle. Let's store script dot parent. So I'm going to say constants class folder script dot parent, and then we're going to do and can place it as class folder. Nice and clean. And here we're going to be applying the wall muffle. Okay, now, the last thing I need to get this working theoretically is the check obstructed function, which is going to be returning first. Mom, I'm streaming. Okay, my parents do not know how to knock. How fun. So we're going to do obstructed and then false, because right now we're just going to assume it is not on a different floor. That is the order, right? Yeah, self-obstructed, self-other floor. Okay. Local obstructed equals false. I'm going to do array cast. Result equals workspace array cast. Origin, we're going to need to get the player. I'm going to add a new collision group real quick. I have so many collision groups. I should probably try to clean some of these up. But I'm going to add one called sound. It's going to be... Okay, so where's sound? There it is. It will not collide with site, players, ragdolls, players, items, interactable... No, that's like doors. Wait, is it? Crap, I don't remember. Let's pull this out because it's going to be huge. Oh boy. That takes up my whole screen. Okay, I have way too many sound groups. No, door is its own. Okay, so we're going to do not that, not ghosts, not drawers. Door frames can block it. Doors will block it. That will not block it. Let's just add sound. And then that will not block it. That will not block it. That will not block it. Nope. 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 Alright, so the only things that will block it are default doors and door frames. Wait, what about drawer bodies? That should be fine. probably remove door frames too. Okay, so only things that can collide with it, door and default. Okay, so that's pretty good. So we're going to need raycast params. Params equals raycast params dot new. Params. We're going to do params dot collision group equals sound. Params dot ignore water equals false. Let's have it so it does get stopped by water. There's not going to be water in the game, but we're not. Params dot, what is there? Filter type equals enum dot raycast filter type dot blacklist. Params dot filter filter instances, and we're going to say if self.part, then so if it's being emitted from a part, then we're going to ignore that part. Okay. Now we need to get the player's position. Crap. That's gonna be a bit more complex. Oh, we can just get the camera position. Duh. Game.workspace current camera. .cframe position. And we're gonna do the direction. Ooh, target. So target equals self.position. We're gonna do origin equals game.workspace current camera cframe. We're going to do origin target minus origin. Then we do, there we go. That should raycast it. And we want there to not be a result. We're going to do local obstructed. No, I can just define here. Cast manage result. Obstructed equals result and result.instance. So if it hits something, let's do result position. So if it hits something, then it is obstructed. However, if it can draw that clear line from your camera to the emission, then it is not obstructed. I think that should work. Okay, fingers crossed. Oh wait, I need to actually create one of these objects. Okay, let's just have a test thing. This is probably going to be something that can only happen on the client, so I'm going to account for that. So let's just say run service dot render stepped, and at the very beginning we're going to say if not run service is client, then error must be on. Yes, I do know Python. Welcome to the chat law mixer. Sounds must be created on client. How is that? Oh, yeah. When I coded this plugin module to use myself, you can use it too if you want. I made it so that the initialization function is dunder in it. Yeah. There's something I want to do here. Yeah. This should be first. Okay, so this is client only. And what we can do, let's just add a testing part. We have one right here. Never mind. Why did I make this so dark? Let's make use of my Team Create with Hats plugin to just add a flashlight, a spotlight onto my hat. One thing that this plugin is actually good for, considering I do not have any friends to see it. Alright, cool. Testing map, by the way, don't judge. Range 60. Alright, cool. Now I just have some light so I can actually see. Oh, I'm not in the right spot. Okay, so let's just add a part. This is going to be the emission point. Emission. This is going to be for testing. Remove all that. Let's turn off. Wait, no, okay, let's make it not visible. And now let's get some annoying noise. So under our sounds folder, let's just add a perfect metal pipe. Yes. Pipe. This is for testing. Don't judge, please. Why do I find this funny? Okay. So I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to loop it, and yeah. Then we're going to say my brain is dying right now. Okay, let's add just some testing script here. I'm going to add a local script called sound testing. We're going to do modules. Okay. No, first we need services. Okay. Replicated. Storage, game, get service, replicated storage. We're going to do modules. We're going to need our class manager. Require, replicated storage, wait for child. Classes, wait for child, class manager. Welcome back. I'm testing it now. Yay. Classes. We're going to get our sound class. Sound equals class manager. Get class sound. We're going to do main sound equals sound.new. We needed to pass the metal pipe. So I named the sound pipe, and then we're going to do game.workspace, wait for child. Sound, what did I call it? Did I not name it? Emission. Sound. It's going to automatically play. Actually, something I forgot to do is in here, I need to do updating, say, ending. We're going to do self.sound.ended. Yep. Connect. We're going to just do self.play state. And we're just going to do self.stop. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do. So it should already be playing, and let's just test this out. It should dynamically muffle. Fingers crossed. That is incredibly loud. I forgot to actually make it emit from a position. I'm so stupid. Okay. Is that a property? Is it that easy? Please let it be that easy. It is not that easy. Okay then. Hmm. Okay, I know what to do. And in it, we're gonna do. Um. Hmm. Okay. If self dot part, then self dot sound dot parent equals self dot part. There we go. Ah, cool. Breaking doors. Make sound. We're gonna go into set part. Do the same thing. Um. Parent it to the folder. Um, Alright, that should do it. Okay, so now it should actually emit from that spot. It is not muffling it. That is a problem. It definitely should be. Why did I choose this sound? Like, for real. Okay, so, check obstructed. Let's just do print obstructed. It's not even checking. Okay, well, that's an issue. And probably the culprit. So this is never being called, which means that it's never getting in here. print update, print check. Alright, let's see if it is actually getting to the update function. It's not even getting to the update function. Okay, well that would do it. Print view. Playing. So maybe the problem is my isPlaying function doesn't work. Uh-oh, 1 second. My Discord bot just crashed. Okay. Yep, that's the problem. My isPlaying function doesn't work. One moment. My Discord bot went down. Let's fix that real quick. Alrighty. What the heck? Let's do npm. There's that gonna fix you. npm update. Is that a thing? Yes, it is. Alright, cool. I think I updated everything. Hopefully that will fix my bot. Alrighty. So, am I not... Wait, I think I know what the problem is. No, I set the play state. Play state is set to 2, and then isPlaying. Oh, why is it private self? Wait a minute, am I just stupid? I think I might be. Alrighty then. Let's just double check. Yeah, alright, that was silly of me. It needs to be private. We're gonna do... Okay, where is it? There we go. Private self-to-play state. That should fix it. Alrighty. There, it's spewing errors. We're gonna remove our print statements. Let's take a look at this error. Aha. Oh, that was silly. I just forgot a dot position here. That's stupid. Alrighty then. That should fix it. Maybe. It's muffled. It's muffled. Alright, a bit of an error. Ah, that's stupid of me. Alrighty. I think I see what's wrong. In the add muffle effect, I did not actually clone it. Effect. Effect equals effect colon clone. Perfect. That should do it. Alright, it's nice and muffled. It's perfect! Let's go! Muffled based off of whether or not there's a wall in between you. I don't know why I'm sliding down this, and that's probably something I should look into fixing. It's probably because of the capsule collider I added. Alright, I could probably fix that pretty easy. I'll do that in a second. Alright, so that works. And just to test something, what if I change my check obstructed, turn true there? It should then change to a floor muffle. Yeah, let's go. Alright, it seems to work absolutely perfectly. So let's change that back to false. I did notice that the wall muffle seems to be a little bit too intense. So I'm going to do something about that real quick. And then I think I'm going to have to call it for today, Devlog, but don't worry, I will be back again some other day soon. Wall muffle. Make that a bit higher. A bit higher. There you go. Cool. Alrighty then. I think that's gonna do it. Let's just check out this new muffle amount. Sounds like a floor muffle. No, that's a wall muffle. Why did I choose a metal pipe falling sound? Yeah, it's still too much muffle, I think. There. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that's fine. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched the VOD, make sure to catch me on twitch.tv/einfinity01. If you were here, make sure to follow so that you can see more of these when I go live. Also consider joining my Discord where you can opt in to get pinged whenever I go live, see updates about this game, chat with some cool people, talk to me, chat about coding or whatever. Very chill Discord if you decide you want to join. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you very much for watching if you watched, and I will see you next time. Now, let's figure out who to raid. Let's see here. Twitch.tv. Let's do Roblox Studio. Category. Alright. Let's find some small streamer that's doing a devlog. Ooh, it looks like they're making chess in Roblox? No. They're playing chess over Roblox. Let's not do that. Yeah, this guy seems kind of suspicious. Let's just do this dude, I guess. Piptendo. /raid. Piptendo. Oh, mature audiences. Oh well. Up to you if you decide you want to go. And I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you very much for watching.